So what's good, TMG fam? It's your boy Ellen. I'm back with another reaction. How y'all feel? Welcome back to the channel. Salute, man. And we about to check out the top 10 unsettling things that have been discovered by space satellites, bro. That. You always have to put a that or a but. But in this situation, it calls for a that. It's the top 10 unsettling things discovered by satellites, space satellites, that they want us to see. That's the key. I always want to drive that home to y'all. That's the key that they want us to see or know about. Things that it's capturing that they don't, we'll never see. Unless somebody gets, you know how a person at a job gets disgruntled, they ready to quit, and they do something drastic. Like one time we was checking into this hotel somewhere, and the dude, it was his last day, he was quitting. He was giving us great rates, fam. He was giving us great rates. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, it don't even matter, man, because we was having issues with the rooms. He's like, bump it, I'm just gonna wipe this, clear this. Well, he's like, thank you, y'all being extra generous. He's like, well, no, I'm being extra generous because this is my last day and I'm sick of this place. And I was like, wow, disgruntled employees. So take care of your employees. But anyway, we're gonna check this video out, man. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, join the family. All right, we welcome all. And let's check this video out. Here we go.
Space threats all the way to some unsettling things found on Google imaging. Here are the top 10 unsettling things discovered by space satellites. Starting off in our number 10 spot, we have the wandering black hole. If you keep up with space news, you'll know that lately, and rightfully so, it's been flooded with news of the James Webb Telescope as it unfurls and reaches its destination at L2. But while this is exciting and very promising, we have to take some time to remember our roots. The James Webb was preceded by the infamous Hubble Space Telescope. The Hubble walked so James Webb could run. Since its launch into low Earth orbit in the 1990s, this space telescope has been delivering us amazing space discoveries, and this one is a bit of a frightening one. Back in 2017, the Hubble located a black hole, which is already frightening, but this one was peculiar. That is because they found that this one was basically being pulled or manipulated by gravitational waves.
Just look at that. What automatically pops into your mind? Like, what happens if we get close to something like that, or it get close to us? What happens? You know what I mean? Like, and then just to know that there's a black hole in space. In space, where does that lead to? Like, space is a different animal and beast within itself, bro. And then now you got to worry about black holes as well. Like, that don't make, like, the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. That don't make you, like, a slight bit curious as to what could possibly cause that to form. Like, that messes me up, man. Just seeing this image here is so powerful.
Located a black hole, which is already frightening, but this one was peculiar. That is because they found that this one was basically being pulled or manipulated by gravitational waves. Basically what this means is that at some point this black hole is going to escape its own galaxy and begin roaming into the universe. Black holes are bad enough, I don't want them to start wandering around. The good news, however, is that despite this black hole weighing approximately the same as 1 billion suns, as it flies through space at 5 million miles per hour, it's estimated to be about 8 billion light years away from Earth, so we're pretty safe at this point.
8 billion light years. I don't know, that could be like, you know how dog years is different from human years? It could be something like that type of shit. Still a far away, but still, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Number 9 spot today, we have the Trementina Base. This is a location that was, of course, discovered using satellite imaging, and you might be wondering what this base holds that makes it so unsettling. Well, that is because this is the location that belongs to the Scientology-affiliated Church of Spiritual Technology. If you are unfamiliar, Scientology is a set of beliefs and practices that were invented by L. Ron Hubbard, and it has been variously defined as a cult. The core belief of this group is that humans are immortal and that our bodies are essentially just a shell to house us. There's also some alien stuff in there I'm not quite so sure about. This group is quite controversial.
That's what they always linking these celebrities to. The Scientology, you know what I mean? Wasn't Will in jail on there? Okay, never mind.
There's also some alien stuff in there I'm not quite so sure about. This group is quite controversial, not only for the beliefs of the group, but because of their illegal activities that also occur, like fraud or spying on the government. There have been numerous superior court judgments which have not only called this group a dangerous cult, but also a manipulative, profit-making business as well. So this base is said to belong to the Church of Spiritual Technology, and they are said to be an entity that was formed to manage the copyright affairs of the Church of Scientology. This base is supposed to provide storage space for an archiving project, which is meant to preserve founder L. Ron Hubbard's writings, films, and recordings for future generations, which is definitely a terrifying thought. It is said that these texts have been engraved on stainless steel tablets that are encased in titanium capsules and held underground. Maybe a little overzealous, if you ask me. In our number 8 spot today, we have Stereo A. The Solar Terrestrial Relations Observatory, or STEREO for short, is a solar observation mission that was first launched in 2006. The mission saw the launch of 2 spacecrafts, Stereo A and B, and they were sent into orbit around the sun. This has caused the spacecraft to pull ahead of and fall behind the Earth, which has given them the opportunity to use their stereoscopic capabilities to get imaging of the sun, as well as phenomena such as coronal mass ejection, which is exactly what we are here to talk about today. In July of 2012, there was a CME, often referred to as a sort of solar superstorm, that tore through Earth's orbit, but luckily, Earth wasn't there. The same couldn't be said, however, for the Stereo A spacecraft, as this storm and the craft collided. If this event had occurred just 1 week prior to when it did, Earth would have been right in the midst of it, however, so we were pretty narrowly missed. The Stereo A spacecraft has been able to remain operational despite this hot and...
How many of y'all knew about that? Show of hands. My hand's not up. I didn't know about that. That's scary.
The Stereo A spacecraft has been able to remain operational despite this hot encounter. In our number 7 spot today, we have the Lost City. In 2011, archaeologist Sarah Parcak used high-resolution and NASA satellites in order to look for subtle differences on the surface of the Earth, and she used this in order to pinpoint the locations of buried ancient pyramids, towns, and ancient tombs in Egypt. This would allow her and her team to find these spots from thousands of miles away so that they could then go and excavate them. While this method led to many amazing discoveries, perhaps the most notable of all is the discovery of a 3,000-year-old Egyptian city. Wow. She and her team had found the lost ancient city of Tanis, which lies about 2 hours northeast of Cairo. Through this satellite imaging, she was able to find networks of streets and such that are completely invisible from the ground. The imaging also shows that the city is filled with underground tombs as well. Sarah explains why she enjoys what she does so much, saying, quote, "What's incredible about archaeology is literally every day archaeologists are making headlines by making the most incredible discoveries." Well, Sarah, this is certainly one of them. In our number 6 spot today, we have whales. There are quite a few satellites that orbit our Earth, and there has been for years, but as time goes on, we find new ways to use the information that they give us. According to an article written on January 20th of this year, there is a new study that is showing how, as satellite imagery improves, it is being used to accurately identify whales that have been stranded on beaches. The article goes on to explain why this is important, saying, quote, "For as long as humans have been monitoring the ocean, the only way we've known about stranded whales was to stumble upon them ourselves. But knowing about stranded whales, including where and when they strand and how many are ashore, is vitally important. Largely due to human causes such as ship strikes, pollution, and entanglement in fishing gear, whale strandings are on the rise. Their occurrence can often signal that something is..."
Humans. Us. We're the cause, bro. Majority of the cause. We gotta do, you see, I ain't put myself out of it. We gotta do better, bro. Pollution, trash, all kind of stuff in the ocean, man. Come on now.
Largely due to human causes such as ship strikes, pollution, and entanglement in fishing gear, whale strandings are on the rise. Their occurrence can often signal that something is amiss and hint at a larger ecosystem problem, such as a harmful algal bloom, yet the ground-based networks used to monitor stranded whales are biased towards wealthy, highly populated regions. It is very true that despite their enormous size, many of these creatures that wash up on remote coastlines or in resource-limited nations or in countries experiencing conflict end up going completely unnoticed. In our number 5 spot today, we have the SS.
And that's crazy to think that something that massive, that size, would go unnoticed, but it happens, bro. And that's crazy because I'm the type of person that believes everything serves a purpose. It has, like, if certain whales go extinct, that may mess up like the balance of things. You know what I'm saying? Like, they may take care of this, that way this can flourish. They may do this, that way this. And if you take them out of the equation, then this grows or this happens and then this changes this. And now we have this problem. Like, everything in my mind is here for a reason, including us. We're here for a reason. The animals, the whales, things in the ocean, everything has a purpose and a job to do that serves a greater purpose in my mind. So when you mess that up and you know what I mean, you mess up the flow of things, yeah, no telling what could happen after that. So yeah, I'm all about preserving their lives, bro, because I feel like they have a specific reason they're here and a function.
Experiencing conflict end up going completely unnoticed. In our number 5 spot today, we have the SS Yasim wreck. The SS Yasim was a Bolivian cargo ship that sank on the evening of December 1st, 2003. For a while, no one was quite sure as to why it sank, as well as the fact that no one could find the wreck. This is exactly why it was so surprising when, a few years ago, the Google Maps team located the sunken vessel based on their satellite imaging. The ship was found on its...
See, now that's gonna get better with time, bro. They're able to locate a boat. Wait till they're able to locate or look down, and they may already be able to, and it may just be my lack of knowledge, but they're able to pierce through and see towards like the bottom and the depths of the ocean, and then they can see what all kind of species and different things. Watch what I'm telling you, bro. If we're not there or close to there, we're headed that way, in that direction. And when we start figuring out what's all in that ocean, i.e., Megalodon, once we do that, it's gonna be crazy at the discoveries, man.
Side, perhaps in the same location it initially sank, in Wingate Reefs just off of the coast of Sudan. This wreck then became one of the largest visible on Google Earth until quite recently. In our number 4 spot today, we have the Lake of Blood. This is another find that came as someone was scrolling along and looking at all there is to see on Google Maps all the way back in 2007. This is when they noticed a blood-red lake that sat just outside of Sadr City in...
And for all you people that think vampires exist, if they did, why would we have a lake of blood? Just saying. See how my brain works. You know, I gotta show Queen this because sometimes I think she's a vampire, bro. With all the vampire shows and stuff she watches, she has to watch Twilight so many times a year. Oh my God, it's ridiculous. I try to run and avoid it. But now I can show her, if you think vampires exist, why are they not there? Huh? It's a lake of blood.
This is when they noticed a blood-red lake that sat just outside of Sadr City in Iraq. Many people began to speculate what this could be about, including a ton of macabre ideas. There was even a rumor going around that said a local slaughterhouse in the area would sometimes dump their blood into canals, but this seems a little unnecessary and very unlikely. There hasn't yet been an official explanation for what exactly made the water so red, but it's most likely that the red color is due to sewage, pollution, or possibly some sort of water treatment process. I can understand why the startling image would get people's imaginations going, but it is likely a pretty reasonable explanation. In our number 3 spot today, we have the Gobi Desert structure. This is one discovery that had conspiracy theorists' minds absolutely swirling. About a decade ago, someone was searching through some Google Maps images when they found a mysterious array of structures and patterns that appeared to be etched into the surface of the Gobi Desert, which is located in China. The structures are reminiscent of geoglyphs, but are seemingly much more modern and newly created. The speculations of what this structure could be or why it was created went wild, with people saying that they were street maps of American cities or messages either to or from some sort of extraterrestrials. The list of bizarre theories just goes on. While this is still sort of conspiracy sounding, this is likely the most reasonable explanation for what these structures are, and that is that these structures are used to help calibrate China's spy and radar satellites. To be fair, this does make a lot of sense, and I don't have any other ideas for what it could possibly be. In our number 2 spot today, we have Leo 1. So, we live on Earth, which is one of the planets in our solar system, and our solar system sits in a galaxy that we call the Milky Way. There are other galaxies out there that are potentially similar to ours, but there are also things called satellite galaxies. So you know how our solar system is a solar system because we are bound to and orbiting around our sun? Well, basically these satellite galaxies are like that, but with bigger galaxies. Like, they orbit around our galaxy. It's a whole thing about gravity and all of that science-y stuff, but in the end, here in the Milky Way, we have about 50 satellite galaxies that orbit us, and the particular one I want to talk about right now is called Leo 1. We started investigating this specific one because of the fact that researchers realized that it doesn't contain a lot of dark matter. While studying this galaxy, it was found that although it is small, it has a massive black hole at the center of it. Like, it's so big in comparison to the galaxy itself that this black hole is almost as big as the one we have here in the Milky Way, which is unprecedented data. This discovery could lead scientists to redefining what their understanding is of how all galaxies formed. The galaxies are the building blocks of the universe, so this would be immensely interesting and important information, and it could change a lot of what we once believed. In our number 1 spot today, we have the missing hiker. This one is a little different from the others on today's list, but it's a super interesting story that involves using satellites, and I had to share it with you. A man by the name of Ben Kuo has a hobby where he enjoys looking at different satellite imagery in order to look at all places all over the world. He has said, quote, "You can look and see what's going on in the world no matter where it is. It's kind of fascinating what you can see." He then went on to describe how it's kind of trivial, but he loves it, and in this case, it was more useful than trivial. The case he is referring to took place in April of 2021, when a hiker named Rene Campion got lost in the Angeles National Forest. While lost with little reception and low battery on his phone, Rene was able to send one photo to his roommate, which he sent in hopes to give a clue about his location. The photo showed his legs with a sort of canyon below, and while I look at the photo and go, okay, he's somewhere that has rocks, I guess, people like Ben see this as a stellar clue. Ben said, quote, "Actually, I looked at the picture and I said, I bet I can find where this guy is." Ben used his own knowledge of hiking trails in the area as well as sites like Google Earth and EO Browser in order to zero in on where the missing hiker could be.
Some people are just super smart at certain things, man. You know what I mean? Because I ain't gonna say a person, like, I'm not the person that always say, oh, this person, because he knows that is smarter than you. No, he's smart in that particular field and stuff that you don't know about. But that's crazy, because I looked at that picture too. Let's go back to that picture.
Stellar clue. Ben said, quote, "Actually, I looked at the picture. People like..."
Oh yeah, let me go back to the picture. Yeah. What are y'all seeing when y'all see this picture? I'm like the other person. Rock. A little cliff. Ain't no way I'm finding you. You know, so I ain't gonna say ain't no way, but the chances are pretty slim. Let's just say that. You know what I mean? I don't even know where to begin, but there goes the show. I'm not an outdoor, I'm not a, you know what I mean? Somebody who's more outdoorsy or studies or knows that type of stuff will be more likely to find you.
Give a clue about his location. The photo showed his legs with a sort of canyon below, and while I look at the photo and go, okay, he's somewhere that has rocks, I guess, people like Ben see this as a stellar clue. Ben said, quote, "Actually, I looked at the picture and I said, I bet I can find where this guy is." Ben used his own knowledge of hiking trails in the area as well as sites like Google Earth and EO Browser in order to zero in on where the missing hiker could be.
I'm weird, y'all. Had to show y'all this. Let me get my mouse. Ben still covers up that camera too. See that, right? Covers up that camera on that laptop. I'm just saying, we can keep talking, but okay.
Like Google Earth and EO browser in order to zero in on where the missing hiker could be. It took Ben about 20 to 30 minutes to find what he thought was the location of the missing person, and he passed along the info to the search and rescue team. In the end, when the sheriff's department went out to investigate, they found the missing man less than a mile from where Ben suggested he might be. Once found and informed of how they located him, Renee said, quote, "I was like, wow, I didn't realize somebody had a hobby doing stuff like that. I owe him my life and everybody else that was involved in helping." Alright guys, that has been our list for today. Thank you so much for checking it out. I've been your host today, Olivia Kozlowski, and I'll
see, imagine the good Ben can do. Like, that's, and he just did that 30 minutes quickly. Imagine how many unsolved cases are out there, or things where people are missing throughout the week or the year or the month or whatever. Imagine how many cases pop up of people getting lost or stranded out and stuff like that. Like, there's a huge void that Ben can fill to help and assist. You know what I mean? People find people that are missing or stranded, or, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. So, and then imagine what he can do, man. He can take it further. He can train people, show people, understand. Imagine how we can cut into people being lost and stranded and dying out. Man. How many videos do we watch where people get lost and stuff like that? Go on these hiking trails and do all of this stuff, and knowing they shouldn't be going up something called Death Killer Mountain, and they get up there and then they get stranded, disoriented, lost, and then before you know it, they're deceased. Somebody like Ben may be a huge help of saving a lot of lives. That's all I'm saying. But you know, y'all get at me in the comments. See, these videos are thought-provoking. They get you to thinking, man, and doing different things like that, and I love it. Y'all get at me in the comment section. Let me know what you thought, man. Top 10 unsettling things discovered by space satellites. It's your boy L. And stick around and stay tuned, man. You know I'll be back with something else. Till the next one, I'm gone. Peace.